Auditor General found that deaths due to nursing home or due to COVID in long-term nursing care facilities were underreported by the state by 30%. Now, the formal report will be out on Monday, but Elizabeth Hertel, she's the state's health director, she says that the report is inaccurate. She points to media reports basically saying that Hertel questions the methods used to define a nursing home death and says that the data was used and taken from those facilities that are not required to report. Get ready for a battle royal on the political front regarding this particular report.
Charlie Langton, Michigan News Network.
News time at 9:08.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
One of my wildfire coworkers contacted me after 5 p.m. one day. She was working with a member in a rush to meet with the seller of a vehicle she wanted to purchase. I double-checked her loan application right then. I emailed it out to her while she was on her way to the branch so that she could sign electronically. We had her check ready for her when she arrived by 6 p.m. Teamwork makes the dream work. For our member, the dream was finding a car, applying for a loan, and buying it in one day. And the Wildfire team made it work.
Saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. Find out for yourself. Call, click, or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively CUA Equal Housing Lender.
WSGW News Time 9:09. Police in Tuscola County arrested a man yesterday who crashed a stolen vehicle. Deputies were sent to Mertz and Clifford Roads around 3 a.m. on a report of a person driving erratically. They found the vehicle crashed near the intersection of Mertz and Snover, where they saw a 63-year-old Lapeer man fleeing the scene on foot. The man headed for a wooded area and was tracked with the assistance of a canine unit. The man admitted he stole the vehicle in Lapeer County. He was arrested for vehicle theft, driving under the influence, resisting police, and driving with a suspended license. A resident of Shaw Hall on the campus of Michigan State University was found dead Tuesday night. MNN's Rob Mason reports.
The student was identified as Monica Ibarra, a psychology sophomore. MSU with incident, and they're working closely with the family and friends to provide support and resources. In an email sent to Shaw Hall residents, the university said that the MSU Student Life and Engagement Division was working with Ibarra's family to provide support. There will be counseling and other resources available to those on campus who are struggling in the aftermath of the tragedy. Investigators have not yet determined a cause of death.
It's a multi-million-dollar investment in the city of Detroit. Ohio-based Key Bank has announced a $10 million contribution to the Detroit Housing for the Future Fund, which aims to create and preserve affordable housing. Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan says the fund is more important now than ever because of the city's rising demand.
People are coming back. Our goal is, okay, you might not be able to keep renting that house in East English Village you were renting 8 years ago, but we really have a quality apartment or townhouse for you to rent in a different neighborhood because we want to keep you in Detroit.
The fund has raised $65 million of its $75 million goal so far. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 9:11. I'm Dave Maurer.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Mostly cloudy for today. Afternoon snow showers possible in the area. Temperatures hold steady for the most part in the region. Winds north around 5 miles per hour. Tonight it remains mostly cloudy. Lows drop to 16. Winds remain north 5 to 15. Higher gusts possible. Friday still mostly cloudy. Temperatures hold steady in the middle to upper teens. Winds northeast. Higher gusts still possible. Friday night cloudy. Lows fall back to 12. And then Saturday overcast. I'm meteorologist Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now it's 28.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Well, good morning to you and welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Coming to you from my home studio, my Saginaw Spirit home studio, and our program brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your real estate needs, commercial or residential, give her a call at 989-295-7713. Put Linda at work for you. Or stop in and visit her at the Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw Township, where you'll also find Cafe 476 and its delicious soups, foods, and beverages waiting for you. Later on, after the 10 o'clock news, open phones. And at 11 o'clock this morning on Focus, we will focus on Bangor Township Virtual Schools. But for this first hour, coming up Monday is the day set aside to celebrate the life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King. And there are celebrations all over the nation, and that includes right here in the Great Lakes Bay region. One of those celebrations is put on by the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and its local chapter, the Iota Chi Lambda chapter. And one of my good friends is a member of that organization and involved in the happenings on Monday. And we say good morning to Smallwood Holloman. Smallwood, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art, and how are you today?
Turn you up. There we go. Now I can hear you.
Fantastic.
How are you, sir?
I'm well.
Smallwood, let's talk. First of all, in reading some of the information about this, I see the word hybrid in this celebration, and I'm saying to myself, how do you have a hybrid celebration? So tell me about this hybrid unity celebration on Monday.
Well, think of it like that fancy car you got that can run on either electricity or a big battery, but can supplement using gasoline to get you from point A to point B.
Yeah.
In these uncertain times, first of all, we have over the past months been watching the news and talking to our healthcare providers here in the area to find out, okay, where are we going with this pandemic? Historically, Art, we've had an occasion, a celebration with about 200 people gathered and breaking bread together. And so we're being cautious. So here's what we're doing. We're going to offer both a in-person event, and we're going to have limited seating there. But there are still those who'd like to celebrate with us, but not quite in a congregate situation. So we will be broadcasting, and the fraternity is making the last minute decision on this, but we'll be broadcasting via our Facebook Live connection. Now that we will confirm this evening whether or not we're going to actually offer it live or offer it, as you and I know, as Memorex. In other words, it will be taped and offered right after the program is over.
I have to tell you, Smallwood, I like the idea because in the past, some of us, for example, who might want to have attended or working, couldn't do the march or the luncheon, but it gives everybody a chance to participate in a way.
That is true, Art. You're very right, and this, even with the inconveniences of the pandemic we're going through, it still offers what I think are some interesting and unique opportunities. Again, as you just mentioned there, for people to participate who can't work, they can just sit at their computer, pull up our Facebook Live. So you're helping me now make the argument that we will broadcast it live and of course, make it available after the program's over through the videos that are stored in Facebook.
Well, let's talk about the in-person event, the march and then the lunch. So what time does the march begin?
Okay. Well, we're going to start gathering for the march if you come to the Dow Event Center, historically, and we're unfortunately, again, we had some disconnects. We would transport people from the Dow Event Center right to our assembly point, which is on Hayden and Franklin Street, right on the corner, right by Spicer's.
Right.
And we'd march from there directly up Franklin Street to the Dow Event Center. And the timing, again, of that For those who do have transportation, please go right to that corner of Hayden and Franklin around 9:30, 9:45. We'll gather and begin the walk with singing and signs, reminiscent of the time during Dr. King's efforts. We'll start right around 10 o'clock. The intent is, since it's not a humongous distance between that, we should be at the Dow Event Center by about 10:30. And there'll be a rally where, again, this is actually an interesting opportunity to hear our youth present their views on Dr. King and the occasion. After the march, our luncheon begins. The luncheon is slated to begin at 11 o'clock. And we have a special guest who will be there to deliver a message. We have special guests who will be our keynote speaker. And if you'd like, we can talk about that.
Yeah, who is that? Tell us who that is.
Well, our keynote speaker is Dr. Don Hinton. For those in the Saginaw community, they would recognize that name quite well. She was doing a professorship at Saginaw Valley State University, but now she's their director for the Center of Excellence in Teaching and Learning at Saginaw Valley. I hope we have her explain what all that's about. And she's has been a workhorse in the community, working with the First Ward Community Center and a plethora of other groups. I believe she was a member of the Links Incorporated, which does great things in the community, both the Great Lakes Bay region, not just the Saginaw community. So she's going to be an exciting one to hear from. She's going to be working off the theme 21st Century Reconstruction, using Dr. King's dream to reset. And there's a lot of dots behind reset because there are a lot of issues, due to the pandemic, due to, I'll say our most recent, not recent, but racial injustice that have gone on that is beginning to be addressed in a number of ways. So she's got some topics that I don't know what she's going to bring to us, but it'll be along the lines of resetting our community in a way that we're going to be proud of where we live, feeling safe where we live, and in some cases we'll have what we need to survive there.
Yeah. Smallwood, hang on. I've got to take a break. We're talking to Smallwood Holloman. He is a member of the Iota Chi Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. They also give out some awards. We'll talk about those when we return, and then some other things I want to talk to Smallwood about. All ahead here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW.
It could be the best years of retirement. You'll finally get to do what you want to do, but you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh and Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here always giving you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right Center, Joyce's Purple Palette, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. I miss my baby. Someone stole my baby. By the way, my baby is my landscaping truck that was literally stolen from a job site. Baby, won't you please come home?
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but with 30-plus customizable coverage options, Progressive Commercial keeps your business humming along. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Sweetheart, by the way, that's my riding lawnmower.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report. prices at the wholesale level rose 0.2% in December, slightly less than economists were expecting. However, for the entire year ending in December, the producer price index rose 9.7%. The number of new claims for unemployment benefits rose 23,000 last week to 230,000. The Omicron variant of COVID is causing disruptions in the job market, though the number of benefits continuing claims declined to 1.5 million, which is down to pre-pandemic levels. Delta Airlines shares are rallying after the company reported a better than expected quarter. Delta says its operation has stabilized over the past week after disruptions over the holiday season, though the company is predicting a loss in the quarter ending in March. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
After 9/11, Saul Martinez couldn't wait to enlist. In Iraq, his vehicle was hit by a projectile improvised explosive device. He lost both legs, suffered a traumatic brain injury, and lost 2 close friends. Saul now lives in a smart home from the Tunnel to Towers Foundation, which gave him back his independence despite his severe physical challenges. Help heroes like Saul. Donate $11 a month to Tunnel to Towers at t2t.org.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Watching TaxSlayer calculate your refund feels like climbing to the apex of a roller coaster.
Here we go!
And flying down the tracks. At maximum refund speed. File for free with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Mi Gente on Air.
How do you celebrate Cinco de Mayo during a pandemic? It can be hard. I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, and my show this week tackles this challenge. Cinco de Mayo, yay or nay? Join us.
Me. Sunday evenings at 8 on WSGW and online WSGW.com.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Smallwood Holloman, who is representing the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity. They have on Monday their annual Martin Luther King Unity Celebration, although this year it is the 26th, by the way. They call it a hybrid Unity Celebration. Smallwood, I know one of the things you do at these celebrations is hand out a couple of awards from the fraternity. And I know both of the recipients this year, both well-deserved. Tell us about them.
Sure. Well, we pride ourselves in attempting to recognize those in the community who have done great things. And again, our community extends to Great Lakes Bay region. And so we've created, and we call these our highest awards for recognition. 2 awards. We call one the Dr. King Community Service Award, and the other Dr. King Unity Award. This year, our recipients, I believe, Mr. Bob Johnson. Everyone knows him as Bob Johnson. When we quizzed him, we said, do you have a real name? He said, yes, it's Robert.
Yeah.
Johnson. But Bob, as everyone affectionately known, will be our Community Service Awardee.
For those that don't know, Bob is is with MLive. He's been a reporter for years, and I think he may be elevated a little bit now in the community.
Yeah, he's he's been a busy bee in the community. He's worked on a number of civic groups, including First Ward Community Center, I think the Bridge Center for Racial Harmony, and his resume is pretty long. And those who will join us on Monday will hear it, and I'm sure they'll be in awe of this guy that we typically see quite a bit in the community. And accompanying him, your friend, my friend too, Dr. Mamie Thorns, will be receiving the Unity Award. And again, her resume is extensive. And Dr. Thorns is a member of faculty, I should say staff member for Saginaw Valley State University in their diversity department, reporting directly to our other friend, Dr. Don Bashan. It's interesting. We looked through the archives of our data, and we've invited Dr. Thorns to be our keynote speaker, and this was back in the early 2000s. But we had yet to recognize her for all she does in the community. So those are the ones we give to members of the community, our highest awards. Now, and also, you're probably going to ask me this next question, aren't you?
I am. If you're going to talk about the Delta College Black faculty, I am.
Well, that's a good idea, Art. For at least 20 plus years, Delta College and the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, and specifically our chapter, have partnered with our efforts to recognize Dr. King and those in the community, and those in this case, those within the Delta family, those who also demonstrate some of those services that Dr. King challenged all of us to do, services to the community. So this year, the Delta College Black faculty and staff will be awarding their Spirit of Dr. King Award to Ms. Lula Woodard. Lula is an adjunct professor in the English department there at Delta College. And again, I read her resume. She's been a long time one here. She's a native of Alabama by way of Chicago, but made it here to the Great Lakes Bay region, and has been, I think, just an asset to our communities. And I know Delta is quite proud of their not nominee, that their awardee of this honor. And so we're gonna celebrate with them on Monday.
Let's talk about tickets. How does someone who wants to attend get tickets for this?
Yep, tickets. And I mentioned the early part of the program, we're limiting our seating this year, but tickets are $40 each. My last report I received from our president, Eddie Fox, who's sort of handling the distribution and accountability for the tickets. If you would contact Eddie Fox, he can confirm yay or nay we have tickets. I believe as of today, we still have tickets available. And we're fortunate too, we have groups that want to attend. So that adds another dimension to our seating. But if we can contact Eddie Fox at area code 989-860-4146, he should be able to confirm, yes, indeed, we have tickets available, and here are your options for paying. Now, if all else fail, I'm available too to give some answers about ticketing. And my phone number, area code 989-859-2602. So I'd say if your listener is interested, have them contact myself or Eddie Fox, and we can confirm and find a way to get them the ticket.
Okay, we'll remind everybody of those numbers later on. This is the point in the program that Smallwood is concerned about because he doesn't know where I'm going to take him.
You better believe it. Okay.
Just as background, folks, I've known Smallwood for many, many years. We break bread occasionally together and hash out all kinds of things. By training, he was a chemist and worked for Dow for many years. Made it to the executive level of Dow, and is a guy who you sit down with. You talk seriously, but at the same time, you know there's going to be some good humor coming forth too. And that's just the way we've been together forever. So let me start with this, Smallwood, but let me start with maybe a more generic overall question about Dr. Martin Luther King. What he means to you, and what you perceive he means to the African American community.
Yeah, that's a good general question about the guy. Well, I can give you some examples of what I feel and the impact he's had, even to me as an adult. But I'll just say, as a child growing up, I can recall the day when he was assassinated, and I was in my preteens at that time. And it's sometimes, even as a group of people, we take people's efforts by granted. And maybe it was because I was quite young and I didn't realize the impact of what this man was doing and why. But it came to head after his assassination because, of course, yes, now the world is looking. As a young person, I didn't appreciate him being recognized by leaders around the world for his efforts in the civil rights movement. I grew up in an area of Virginia, a very segregated area. My community, 99% African American, and just across the tracks, the complexion changed dramatically. And Dr. King, in all the efforts that he did in the 60s, and as it even begun for him early on, he wanted to help people understand that, by golly, we are pretty much alike. And not only we are alike, but we should be able to have the same sorts of freedoms that everyone has. And you've heard in many of his speeches, he will personify what freedom should look like based upon if you're black, brown, green, yellow, or wherever you're from. That you and I should be practicing those together. And the central part of him as a person was love. I mean, his philosophy was nonviolent, and during those days there were violent efforts to get people's attention. But Dr. King saw it differently. He said, we can do it nonviolently, but he was smart enough to understand that to make change is not just a matter of getting people to recognize what's going badly, but now we need to do something about it, which means legislatively. There need to be laws change in many of the communities. Now, I'm going to fast forward to about 40 plus years now.
Okay, hold on. Hold on. We're going to stop that train for a moment because I have to take a break. And then we will be back. We're talking to Smallwood Holloman about Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King Day coming up on Monday. And we will be back with more here on the Art Lewis Show after these notes.
I'm attorney Jerry Rife, and I have practiced law.
I'll try to shorten my answer.
Attended my monthly workshops where you have learned about estate planning, asset protection planning, avoiding nursing home costs, and how to save the family farm. Would you like to understand more about these topics? I'm offering 3 free e-booklets about estate planning, farm succession planning, and Medicaid planning.
To get your free e-booklet, go to jerryrifelawyer.com to download any or all of the e-booklets or call 989-790-1461 to request a copy.
My e-booklet, Understanding Medicaid, describes Medicaid, Medicare, and the difference between them. Confusing to you, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning Basics, and you'll find that it is a helpful guide for your future planning. If you have a farming operation and want to save it for future generations, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning for Farmers.
If you want any of these free e-booklets, go to jerryrifelawyer.com or call 989-790-1461 to request your free copy.
Hammering headaches? Ow. Aching muscles? Ah. Put the squeeze on your tough pain with Goody's Cool Orange. The same fast-acting, powerful Goodies powder in a great-tasting cool orange flavor. Beat tough pain to a pulp with Goodies Cool Orange. Also, blast your pain away with Goodies Mixed Fruit Blast. 2 flavors, tough on pain, tasty on your tongue. We made Goodies fast, Goodies delicious. All available at Walmart.
I like fresh eggs as much as the next guy, but maybe free-range chickens in the office wasn't a great idea.
We should just use Easy Cater. Breakfast, lunch, treats, on time, and as ordered.
And I bet they never preen their feathers in the conference room without reserving it first! There's a clipboard outside the door. You put your name.
It's not that hard, guys. Some food just doesn't work at work, but Easy Cater just does. Food for work, on time, and as ordered from over 82,000 restaurants. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Exergen would like you to know about an important new study by the FDA. The community has always known non-contact thermometers are not accurate, and they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. With new strains of COVID on the rise, we can't afford to tolerate rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
With this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Vitano. The Spirit returned Saturday night to the Dowd for Love Shouldn't Hurt Night, presented by the Bay Area Women's Shelter and Shelter House. For fundraiser tickets, log on to Saginaw Sales using the group ID Love Shouldn't Hurt and the password Spirit2022. You can purchase discounted fundraiser tickets with $5 going back to the Bay Area Women's Shelter. With this week's Spirit in 60, I'm Joey Batano.
Check out the WSGW Sports Broadcast page on WSGW.com. Want to know when and which WSGW station you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football? Click on the Sports Broadcast box on WSGW.com.
And we're back with you here on WSGW, talking to Smallwood Holloman, a member of the fraternity that honors Dr. King on Monday, Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity, the Iota Chi Lambda chapter. And we'll have more on that celebration for you before we're done today. But we are talking about the life and times of Dr. Martin Luther King and what it meant to the African-American community with Smallwood. And Smallwood, before we accelerate those 40 years and bring everybody up to this time, I have to ask, and I think we've talked about this at lunch one time, but you're a young man in Virginia in a very segregated neighborhood, yet you end up with a degree in chemistry. You end up an executive at Dow. Would I be correct in assuming you had some parents who wouldn't let you stray off the narrow?
That's a pretty darn good assumption. Yeah, and I had parents that were very hardworking parents. My mother was a cook in the local elementary school, so she kept tabs with me when I was a munchkin, growing. And my father actually worked a couple jobs. He had a seventh grade education. And back to the time, and particularly in Virginia, young people at that time were the laborers for the farm, and he grew up on the farm. And so, as soon as he could tie his shoes and could work, he and his brothers and sisters were working the farmland. So he worked a couple jobs, but both of them valued education. I can remember my mom addressing my interest in science. She actually brought me a chemistry kit. I remember that. And I made blue stuff and red stuff, and things bubbled, and ultimately she brought me a telescope. And boy, peering in the skies was just a regular occurrence for me in Virginia. My friends used to see me as soon as the sun was set. I was out there. So you got it. Parental involvement, be it, and my dad a little bit more from a distance, but he worked hard for us. But my mom directly, and she did have a high school education. They just wouldn't let us stray in any way in our attitude toward education or stray while we were playing with our friends. Because when the sun set, there was that call for Smallwood, time to come home. And so, yeah, I was blessed.
All right, so now let's go back to what you started to say before the break. You told us about your young life with Martin Luther King and what he meant to you.
Yeah,
celebrated that 40 years.
Yeah, I was just recalling. I looked at the date. I was 2 years old when he did the Montgomery boycott, the bus boycott. I was 10 years old when the March on Washington occurred, and 15 years old when he was assassinated. So, those early years were not the educational years for me to understand this man, but I learned later on in life. And I'll use a couple terms. He was resilient because he was a man that would have goals in mind for groups, but could be deterred because of either the local laws decided they'd put him in jail, or there were those who didn't agree with this march to give other people freedom. And he saw physical harm, and I'm sure he was called lots of interesting names when he was doing those things. And perseverance is another when I think of Dr. King. Now, I wasn't in the Great Lakes Bay region not even a full year when, for the first time, and this is the honest goodness truth, the first time I was called the N-word. I remember very vividly. I was in downtown Midland, going to a local store to buy my parents Christmas gifts that I was going to fly back with. And as I came out the store with my bags, a group of young, I'm sure they were upper teenagers, just screamed at me as I was walking the streets. They were in a moving car, the old N-word, and to go back home. Now, I'm sure they didn't have any clue where my home was. It could have been, we've had other African Americans who were born in that area. But I remember the anger I felt. But then it didn't take long. I began to think about Dr. King and other pioneers and said, look, if they could take what they took, I mean, not just the verbal abuse, but physical and all kinds of abuse, I can handle a little name calling by some teenagers. So I just learned right away there that there's more in me than what people want to call me. And there's more in me that I want to achieve.
And, and of course they knew nothing about you.
Exactly.
Little did they know you were a chemist at this major corporation sitting right there. Right. They had no idea.
Right.
They just looked on the surface.
Yeah, and Art, that's the issue, and unfortunately, that we battle as particularly people of color. Assumptions are made before you open your mouth, and that's a tragedy. And this again, that's what Dr. King was talking about. It's let's get into the character of people. Let's see what value they bring to all of us, and not just make assumptions based upon what you see on the surface. It's again, and there are others who I have admired over the years. I'll take one. A quick example is Dr. Ben Carson. I got to meet him about 2 decades ago, and I met him personally, and listened to one of his presentations to kids, and he told this group of 200 or 300 kids, "Don't you feel ashamed in any way? You may be hearing reports that you're inferior." But his quote was, "I have opened the heads of every nationality, both sexes, and other groups." And he says, "I have touched and their brains, and some of them I actually took them, put my hands on them." And he said, "We are all the same. Now, our experiences will make differences, but no, all of you have the capacity to be the greatest you want to be."
It is he's an interesting choice because obviously his political leanings led some in the African American community not to appreciate him simply because of his politics.
Well, and that's another biggie.
Wait, I'm gonna take a break.
Okay.
On that one, we'll come back on that We're talking to Smallwood Holloman about Martin Luther King and Martin Luther King's Day on Monday, and we will remind you of some of the things that are going to be happening. But let me take a moment to talk about the Thalen Auto Group. You know, for years, you've heard me touting the outstanding lineup of new cars from the Thalen Auto dealerships on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City, and they're all right there side by side. But think of this. Every time they sell a new car, what happens? Most of the time, they take in a pre-owned vehicle. And what they do is then they thoroughly inspect that vehicle and bring it right up to their standards. Couple that with the fact that Thalen scours the market for additional cars meeting their standards, and that presents you with an opportunity for one-stop shopping at the Thalen Auto Group in Bay City on North Euclid Avenue. You have literally hundreds of vehicles to choose from, more selection than any other location in the Tri-Cities. You can shop certified pre-owned vehicles too from Audi, Volkswagen, Subaru, Mazda, Honda, Kia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And you don't have to spend days going from dealership to dealership. You can do it all in one place. The Thalen Auto Group on Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Spend a day shopping or go online to see their inventory at thinkthalen.com. The Thalen Auto Group in Bay City.
More than 1 in 3 people will face cancer in their lifetime. Unfortunately, fear can stop you from getting cancer screening, but it won't stop cancer. Early detection can save your life. Don't wait for symptoms to appear to act. Cancer screening is safe, effective, and accessible for everyone, including free or low-cost screening programs. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now and take the American Cancer Society's 2-minute cancer screening quiz to find out what screening tests are right for you. Don't wait. Take the quiz. Get screened. Go to cancerscreenquiz.com now. cancerscreenquiz.com.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prostagenic that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prostagenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prostagenics, call now, 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
Deep breaths.
Mi's virtual meditation studio has never been busier.
Work.
They need a remote assistant to realign their scheduling.
Blank calendar. Sorry. Back to your breath.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Make calls, schedule virtual interviews, and talk your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The WSGW Morning Team Show. Detroit restaurant just closed abruptly. Michael Simon's Roast Restaurant in the Weston Book Cadillac closed. Highly, highly rated. #1 in Detroit. Did I mention, by the way, the cheapest steak was about $100?
Well, I should have
having some impact. Yeah.
That's the circle of friends apart.
Yeah, exactly.
He's not taking me there.
Dave and Pat and Shirley, we're over at
Never been
McDonald's.
there.
We're at
Never been there. I've never been there either.
No.
I've never been there either.
But you know people who have been there.
Yes, that I do. The other reason is you would never spend $100 on a steak. So.
50, maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
100, I don't think so, yeah.
So does that include the sides or?
No, of course not. Of course not.
Better at least the pack come with an Iron City beer next to it.
Then maybe it's worth $100.
Weekdays 5:30 to 9 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show, talking to Smallwood Holloman about Martin Luther King Day coming up on Monday, and we'll remind you about the event. Just want to finish up talking a little bit about your personal reaction and I don't know how to say it now. views of Martin Luther King and what he's meant to you and the community?
Well, yes. And again, Dr. King's philosophy in life, not only did it just include service to your community, but it also challenged you to love your community. And I guess I've learned and grew up to a point where, yes, I have pretty strong political views about issues. That's okay. And Art, if you came to my neighborhood, particularly during election time, you would see signs of probably every political party known, from the Green Party to Republican, Democratic Party candidates, and it's just that diverse. And if we took our politics too seriously, we would neglect what I'll call the humanity of your surroundings. And I have tried to grow up to not allow that to happen to me. And yeah, they're good examples. This last election, our signs were as polarizing as you could find it, if you really look at it.
So is the conversation these days in the media.
Oh gosh, well, and it's a shame too with the Congress we have. It's they're not there to solve problems for the people. They're there to make sure their political agenda is premier, is number one. Yeah. And that's to the detriment of those in America that need them dearly. I mean, let's not be fooled that government doesn't play a big part in our lives, and it does. And right. we need it to work well and work on our behalf.
All right, we're going to leave it on that one. I want to end this on very positive notes and talking about what NBC isn't. So let's go back and remind everybody about what happens on Monday.
Okay. On Monday, January 17th, there's going to be a gathering of those who want to celebrate Dr. King's, what would have been his 93rd birthday. We do it here in this region in a couple of ways. Dr. King's mantra shows him being involved in a lot of ways, and he used the marching and the protesting to get attention on the issues of the community. So we're going to have a unity march beginning at gathering right around 9:30, 9:45 at Hayden and Franklin, and we'll march to the Dow Event Center, where at 11 o'clock we're going to have a luncheon, and we've got we're going to hear from some special guests virtually, and we will hear a live keynote speech by Dr. Don Hinton from Saginaw Valley State University at 11 o'clock. Going to have a scrumptious meal, and then we're going to recognize those in our community who have impacted it in a very positive way. And I don't think this community will be disappointed. In fact, I hope they will be excited about those who we're going to recognize.
Well, as I said earlier, too, I've known Bob Johnson a long time and served on a number of committees with him. And Mamie Thorne, Odell may be one of the luckiest men in the world to be married to that woman, I'll tell you. She is absolutely great. Phone numbers for tickets to find out if they're still available.
All right. We'll start with mine, and that's area code 989-859-2602. Now I'm trying to find Eddie's phone number again, and that's going to be area code 989-860-4146. And we can give you all the information you need about obtaining and purchasing these tickets.
Well, Smallwood, my friend, it is always a pleasure to be with you and chat with you, and look forward to the next time we break bread and talk about other things.
Looking forward to it, Art, and thank you for allowing us to use this venue, your program, which is premier in this area, to tell them about what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Have yourself a great day, Smallwood. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye-bye now. Smallwood Holloman, and we thank him for his time this morning. We will take our last break and then come back and close out this hour. Next hour, it's open phones.
Start the new year off right with Menards Bag Sale. Pick up a bag in store and get 15% off everything you can fit in the bag now through June 15th. Whether you pack it, load it, stuff it, or stack it. From light bulbs to tools, snacks, and much more. Fit it in the bag and save 15%. So pick up a bag in store and find out how much you fit in the bag now through January 15th. Available in store only at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
For almost 20 years, only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or SUV and protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820. Blank location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820. Or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
Now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that the widely used non-contact thermometers are not accurate and have high probabilities for false negative readings. New COVID strands are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters most. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Don't wait. Switch to accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Players Lounge at the Bay Valley Resort. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Their appetizers include fried zucchini, chicken wings, and please don't sleep on their bacon-wrapped shrimp. You can also get burgers, their smokehouse chicken sandwich, and fish and chips. No matter what mood you're in, they've got you covered. Do yourself a favor and head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show.
Point, voting rights are no better than they were before the Civil War.
What?
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Hospitals across the country are struggling to keep up with a crush of new COVID cases. The president will announce this hour he's sending in more help. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve is in Washington.
President Biden is now deploying military medical teams to support overwhelmed emergency rooms in 6 states: New York, New Jersey, Ohio, Rhode Island, Michigan, and New Mexico.
Hospitalizations in the U.S. are up 33% in the last week. Deaths have increased 40%. Amid signs case numbers are slowing down in some cities along the East Coast. The number of people who signed up for first-time unemployment benefits increased last week to the highest level since mid-November. Bank Rate's Mark Hamrick.
Among the states, the largest increases are reported in California and New York State, with new claims topping 10,000 in both locations.
Nationally, numbers are still low by historic standards. Last night, the top announced he will not cooperate with a Democratic-led investigation of the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol. Kevin McCarthy told CBS that day he phoned Donald Trump.
I was very clear with the president when I called him. This has to stop, and he's got to go to the American public and tell them to stop this. This is not who we are. This is not who his supporters are.
McCarthy is calling Democrats' investigation illegitimate. Republican Matt Gaetz' former girlfriend has gone before a federal grand jury investigating alleged sex trafficking. Correspondent Jeff Pegues.
The grand jury testimony of the lawmakers' acts may indicate that this case is advancing quickly, and it is prosecutors looking to charge the Republican congressman, and they are potentially inching closer to an indictment.
The Justice Department will begin transferring thousands of inmates out of federal prisons this week.
This is part of the criminal justice overhaul signed by then President Trump more than 3 years ago. The bipartisan measure is intended to encourage inmates to participate in programs aimed at reducing recidivism. It also eases mandatory minimum sentences and gives judges more discretion in sentencing. It's not clear how many inmates are going to be released. The Justice Department will only say that thousands of inmates are being affected. Steve Kathan, CBS.
Our guess is Lionel Richie is dancing on the ceiling right now. The Library of Congress is honoring Richie with the Gershwin Prize for Popular Music. He'll be celebrated with an all-star tribute concert in Washington, March 9th. Dow up 129 points. This is CBS News.
Looking for quality candidates this new year? Look no further than Indeed. Our new video interview tool takes the hassle out of virtual hiring. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Your career takes flight when you join the winning teams at Soaring Eagle and Saganing Eagles Landing. The premier gaming and entertainment Michigan are currently hiring for a wide variety of positions for all levels of experience. Visit us online at SoaringEagleCasino.com for a full list of openings and learn about all the benefits and the new $15 an hour minimum wage. Apply today at Soaring Eagle Casino Resort and Saganing Eagles Landing Casino and Hotel.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here always giving you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palettes, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
It's 30 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Ian Williams. A soon-to-be-released State Auditor General report on the number of COVID-19 deaths in long-term care facilities acknowledges the number of deaths is much higher than once reported. House Oversight Committee Chair Steve Johnson issued a statement saying he's eager to review the report and says the number reported by Whitmer's administration is 30% lower than what the Auditor General has found. Johnson went on to say he believes it is his duty to uncover the truth for the people. The report will be posted to the Auditor General's website on the 17th of this month. Michigan State Police are setting up a 5-point plan in hopes of eliminating disparities in traffic stops. Lead researcher Dr. Scott Wolf from Michigan State University says several situations showed African-American drivers were more likely to be pulled over by troopers than white drivers.
Traffic crash data does a better job of approximating or estimating the actual driving population or the population that's at risk to be pulled over by troopers. Here again, we found that African-American drivers were more likely to be stopped than we would have expected in not at fault crashes across the state.
Wolf says there needs to be more analysis of the data, and he indicated the research was focused on disparity and not discrimination. State Police Colonel Joe Gasper says to fix the problem, there'll be an independent expert hired to look further into the data. Troopers will get body cams, and there will be a statewide listening program set up to hear from community leaders and others to come up with a way to end the disparity. A man suspected of stealing a vehicle and crashing it in Tuscola County was arrested yesterday. Police were dispatched to the area of Mertz and Clifford in Fremont Township. A person driving erratically. They discovered the vehicle crash near the corner of Mertz and Snover. A 63-year-old man was seen fleeing the location on foot, heading to a wooded area. Deputies were able to track the man with assistance from a canine unit. The Lapeer man admitted to police he stole the vehicle in Lapeer County. He was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence, vehicle theft, driving on a suspended license, and resisting arrest. WSGW News Time is 10:07.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell you that everything we do is for our members because it's about you all.
I was working with a member to purchase an auto loan and saw an opportunity to help them save some money. By refinancing their credit card debt, we were able to save them over $600 a month. This is one of the many ways that we deliver outstanding service to our members.
Delivering marvelous experiences, saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit Union. It's what we do every day. Find out for yourself. Call 800-227-2328. Click on wildfirecu.org or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be. Always Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender. These are actual examples of savings and not guaranteed in every situation.
WSGW News Time is 10:08. The Shiawassee County Board of Commissioners faced public scrutiny last year after commissioners voted to give themselves and other top county executives extravagant bonuses from Federal American Rescue Plan Act funds. Following media reports and public outcry, that money was eventually returned or allocated to other county employees. Now, former commission chair Jeremy Root has handed in his resignation to the board, effective immediately. Root and the other board members approved a $20 for him and tens of thousands to others. Following the backlash, many of the commissioners said they didn't know what it was they were actually voting for and returned the money granted to them. Root's resignation comes as allegations of sexual harassment have surfaced. Root allegedly sent texts to a woman offering her a job in exchange for sexual favors. Resigning via email on Tuesday, Root said his decision was prompted by false attacks from inside and outside the county. It may be time to reconsider the face mask you're wearing as COVID cases surge due to the Omicron variant. Dr. Deanna Lights explains.
Different levels of protection depending on the material. Dr. Lorraine Washer is hospital epidemiologist at University of Michigan Health.
You should consider upgrading to a medical mask, such as a medical ear loop mask or a K95. They offer more protection than a cloth mask.
But do your homework when purchasing these masks. The CDC reports that about 60% of the masks on the market are counterfeit. The CDC's website offers information on brands from reputable companies.
That was Dr. Deanna Lights. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom, 752-079. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. We'll see a few spotty snow showers at times here for today with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures holding rather steady. Northwest winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions with a low near 16. Friday, mostly cloudy, temperatures rise early, then slowly fall throughout the day. And then by Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 18. Sunday, sunshine, high around 23. Then by Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 29. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high 28 degrees. I'm meeting Wsgw with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 28.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome back. Hour number 2 of the
Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. From my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, our program brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty for all of your residential and commercial real estate needs. Let Linda go to work for you by calling her at 989-295-7713 or stop in and see Linda at The Point, M46 and M47 in Saginaw, where you'll also find Cafe 476 and its delicious drinks, beverages, foods, and soups at this time of year. This hour, open phones, 989-752-6111 from Saginaw and Bay City. Elsewhere in the state, 866-790-WSGW. And if you're outside the state of Michigan or even inside the state, 989-752-6111. Most carriers are not charging you roaming and long distance anymore. So feel free to give us a call and chat with us. A couple of program notes for you. This Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning, Ernie Krieger will be joining me, and we'll have a special announcement. That's all I'm going to say right now, but you don't want to miss it. It'll be a special announcement this Saturday. Monday from 9 to noon, some very special programming on Martin Luther King Day. And also next week, on Wednesday of next week at 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be talking to WNEM TV5 Chief Meteorologist Brian Bachman, who is pulling up stakes, as they say, and moving on within the company to a different location. So we'll talk to Brian about weather, meteorology, and his career, and that will be next Wednesday. It's just a couple of notes. There's other things going on too, but just want to make sure I got those out there for you so that you can maybe plan ahead a little bit. For today, though, open phones, I want to start, and this has been in the news too, a Quinnipiac University national poll, and it finds that nearly 6 in 10, 60% of the population of this country think democracy is in danger of collapse. I am not that big a pessimist. I have said so many times on the show, talked about the fact that I believe we have a resilient governmental structure, constitution, and we are a resilient nation. We go through these spats, and yeah, it's not fun, and it doesn't do anything for us, the people, but somehow we resolve it. And it is my belief this too will pass. Tomorrow? No, not likely. Next week? Not likely. Next year? Not likely. It will take a while, but it will pass. Just my personal gut feeling using history as a teacher. And the poll did not give the president very good marks. He ends up with a 33% approval rating, the lowest he's had in a long time. The only the good news in here for the Democrats is that we as a people seem to be split on who should control Congress. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to translate because history shows us in the midterms that the party in power loses power, but we shall see. Al is in Midland, so we're going to go there and start there this morning. Good morning, Al. Al, good morning. There you are.
Good morning, Arthur.
Morning.
A couple of things. I've been watching this TV show thing with a robot and computer and trying to decide if it's overpass or
the commercial.
And they're delivering coffee to the robot, and it's kind of ludicrous to think about that. But so first of all, the robot is not drinking coffee. What's that going to do?
It's called poetic license.
Yeah, I know. I look at the commercial and I got this mind kind of like you, and I drift off into what sense does that make?
Here, let me ask you a question, Al, if I could, real quick.
Sure.
Who was the commercial for?
I don't know. Steve,
There you go. I don't either.
I don't even remember what they're selling.
Well, I have to tell you now.
How bad it is.
I have to tell you, I've seen that commercial now a dozen times, and I can't tell you who it's for, which means I walk away a failure from the advertising standpoint, because if you don't remember the name of the company, they just threw away a lot of money.
Yeah, or what they're selling.
Yeah. As opposed to Progressive Insurance and Geico Insurance.
Sure.
You remember them.
Oh, yeah.
As funny as they are and as sometimes dumb as they are, you remember them. The robot commercial.
The name of the product.
Yep.
Yeah?
The robot commercial did not do that.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
I just thought that was so funny. I looked at that the other day and I'm watching. They keep showing it, and I have no idea what they're selling. But it's so funny though that I look at he's running a laptop. What does he need a laptop for? He's got all that stuff inside his head.
Poetic license.
Yeah, I realize that, but it's a very silly commercial.
Oh well.
Back to your Quinnipiac poll, I guess it was.
Quinnipiac University, yeah.
Yeah, I can't pronounce it. Anyhow, I made a prediction a while back. Heard from some of the pundits that the House was going to lose 15 seats, and I think the Senate was going to lose 9 or 10 or 12, something like that. I think that's going to hold. I think they're going to lose that many seats, if not more.
I'm not sure about those numbers.
Real tough shape.
I'm not sure about those numbers. I think in the Senate they do stand to lose a couple. In the House, the Republicans only need 5 to pick up 5, and I think they may pick up maybe a couple more than that. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. No, I could be wrong. Don't get I'm just offering my opinion on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we're ready for a big blowout.
Well, the people that I'm listening to have been so right and so accurate in the past. They predict an absolute shellacking. And I think people are sick and tired, like you. I think they're sick and tired of all the monkey business, the crazy spending, the inflation, the shortage on the shelves. I'm hearing all over places where there's shortages of things.
That, to me, is where the votes are going to come from. Inflation.
I think so, too.
Inflation and shortages are going to drive people. Now, the problem is we don't know what it's going to look like in November. Remember that.
No, but I don't think it's going to get any better.
Yeah, but if it does, though, you got to remember this, Al.
Yeah.
We as voters have short memories.
Yeah, I think this memory is going to hang around a while.
Yeah, maybe.
The pandemic is causing a lot of, I just think this is going to hang around a lot longer than anybody expects. Biden, he can't back down on bringing the oil production back to this country, because that's a failure on his other left flank side. So he's going to stick with what he's doing.
No, I would agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that.
That isn't good for changing the path of the direction that we're going. So
all right.
I think it's going to be pretty bad.
Fair enough.
I think there's going to be a shellacking.
All right.
Have a nice weekend,
Yep,
sir.
you too. Thanks, Al.
Bye now.
Bye now. All right, we'll be back with more. And Jerry, hang on. You'll be next.
Beat the winter blues and get away from the cold. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit Union help you get where you want to go with a vacation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's to a tropical island or just a vacation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org. Member NCUA.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
At first, I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, these stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But there's good news. EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
And now an important message from Exergen. A critical new FDA study proves that non-contact thermometers are not accurate. They also have inaccurate information. Accuracy. New COVID strains are on the rise, and non-contact manufacturers are being irresponsible at a time when accuracy matters. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. Switch to Exergen because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks opened higher. There's another reading confirming that inflation rose sharply over the past year. The Producer Price Index, which measures price increases at the wholesale level, rose 9.7% in the year. The number of people signing up for unemployment benefits rose last week to 230,000, though continuing claims, those still receiving benefits, declined to 1.5 million. Delta Airlines shares are rising, even though the company lost money in its recent quarter, including special expenses. Delta expects to recover quickly from the effects of the Omicron variant and make a profit in the spring and summer. Private equity firm TPG is launching today on the NASDAQ. It was previously known as Texas Pacific Group. It's based in San Francisco. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosolda. Invested.
Biden's massive spending has expanded America's money supply and taken money out of your pocket. But you can fight back against runaway inflation by moving your IRA or 401k to gold with Birch Gold Group. Birch Gold Group will send you a free info kit on protecting your retirement with gold in a tax-sheltered account when you text the word SHELTER to 989898. Text SHELTER to 989898. There's nothing to buy and no obligation at all, so do it now.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Now, a WSGW Morning Team Show memorable moment.
A parade of hearses is planned in the Michigan community of Hell, part of an attempt to regain a spot in the record books. The Hellfest Nightmare Cruise is Saturday, about 45 miles west of Detroit. The parade follows an all-hearse car show, and the Hell-based car club called Just Hearsin' Around says it's trying to take back a Guinness World Records mark set last year when 51 vehicles made the parade. That got the event a Guinness World Records honor, but organizers say a hearse parade brought out 107. So there's a number they've got to beat.
So they did lose the record, but they're going to try and get it back.
They're going to try to get it back. So I don't know where in hell they're going to get more than 107 hearses, but good luck with that.
Just supporting the news.
I understand. It's it's a small town. Yeah, we can't have that many funeral directors.
The Morning Team Show, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW 790 AM and 100.5 FM.
WSGW.
Your source for local news and information in the Great Lakes Bay region. 100.5 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show on this Wednesday morning. And Jerry is in Bay City, and he's up next. Jerry, good morning to you.
Good morning, Eric. How
Morning.
are you doing?
We're doing well, thanks.
Good. In reference to the poll that you cited, where people think democracy is, teetering on the edge of destruction, it shouldn't surprise anybody when we have people in the leadership every day after lunch coming out and saying that lying about what happened on January 6th, lying about They keep referencing this minority in the Senate that's dictating all this stuff. But the last time I checked, 52 is bigger than 50. And 52 senators opposed this legislation, opposed the overthrow of the
it's
filibuster.
It's gotten to the point where President Biden's great inaugural unity speech, the word unity apparently means do it my way or the highway.
Well, and this guy, I mean, I understand what they were going for when they put him up, because they knew Bernie couldn't get elected, and they knew Elizabeth Warren couldn't get elected, and Kamala Harris only got 1% of the support within the Democrat Party for the nomination before she dropped out. So, I mean, I get why they nominated this guy, but he's a buffoon. He is a BSer. I mean, you can go back and look at his history. He's lied about things. He just lied the other day in the speech. He made an implied comment that he got arrested during some civil rights action because he was giving a speech at Morehouse College. Everybody knows that's not true. It's been debunked in the past. And as regards, the whole voting rights thing, the fact is that something like 80% of the people in this country support ID.
Yeah.
There was a poll like in July, and the poll was conducted by NPR, PBS, NewsHour, and Marist College. Okay, not exactly right-wing bastions. And what they concluded was that something like 94% of Republicans, 83% of independents, and 57% of Democrats indicated support for having to show an ID in order to vote.
Absolutely.
And the other thing that was really interesting was 81% of people of color supported having to show ID. So when these people lie to you day after day after day, they call this January 6th thing an insurrection. It's the worst planned insurrection I've ever seen, if that's what it was supposed to be. Because the vast majority of the people there were unarmed, and the only person that was killed that day was an unarmed right-wing veteran.
It's still,
there was violence.
regardless, that was a bad day in the history of the United States.
Horrible day. It was a horrible day.
It was a terrible day, and it was a terrible action that should have never happened.
Well, I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't know who you're arguing with, but it isn't with me. I agree wholeheartedly with that. All I'm saying is that to elevate it to what they've elevated it to is ridiculous. I hope every person there that did any kind of violence or destruction of government property is prosecuted to the greatest extent of the law.
Good. Perfect.
But I would like to know where all these left-wing people were when out in Portland and Seattle, they were locking police officers in buildings and setting the buildings on fire.
Yeah. I've said this before. In all those cases, Milwaukee, Portland, all those cases, there are two groups of people. There are protesters who have a legitimate right to protest and let their feelings be known. And there are rioters who steal the protest, overshadow the protest, and just riot. They need to be separated, because that was also true on January 6th.
That's right. So that's absolutely right. But
all right.
I don't hear the outcry from the left for locking up and prosecuting all these people in Portland.
No, you don't. And you won't. All right.
Right.
Good enough.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye. Delmar in Saginaw, good morning. Hello, Delmar? Okay, goodbye, Delmar. I don't know what that is. All right, Pat, we'll accelerate you. Pat may join the conversation now.
Right. I think we were put on. I think he's put us on hold. I don't know what that is.
Well, that's not going to work very well.
I don't.
So my friend, let us hear your views, please.
Okay, no problem. I just wanted to say that Quinnipiac poll, 33%. There was an Ipsos poll that came out also yesterday, said that Biden's at 45%. Maybe somewhere it's in the middle.
Yeah, you're probably right. Listen,
which
I'm glad you brought.
numbers.
I'm glad you brought that up because you can't put all your eggs onto one poll.
Right.
But I did reference another poll the other day on topics that were breadbasket topics that voters will vote on. And I'm sure there are other polls all over the place. Let's face it, we've become poll happy, which is surprising after what happened in some of the elections in past times. I'm surprised people still look at them.
But that's what drives the clicks. That's what drives. Everybody likes to talk polls, and that's just how it is.
Well,
I mean, that's just
they're fun to talk about. I mean, let's face it.
That's
That's what makes the horse race. Yeah,
right. Exactly. No, the other. And I talked a little bit about this before, but the thing I don't get with the inflation is that this is not an American problem. This is a worldwide problem.
Doesn't matter.
And I don't understand how. Well,
here's why it doesn't matter.
Why?
When the voter goes to the poll in the
True.
United States, they don't care about inflation in England. They
True.
don't care about inflation in Germany.
True.
They care about how it's affecting their pocketbook.
True.
And they perceive that their government is responsible.
But how is that? And that's the other thing. And I blame the press in many ways on that, the American press on that. I think they do a pretty bad job at covering. They don't understand economics in many ways, and they want to talk about inflation, and they make it sound like it is strictly an American issue, where it is a worldwide issue.
Well, but then
one reason is because of COVID.
Yes, that's
Now,
true. But you have to ask yourself this. The government has gone through a spending spree in the last couple of years, and they've had to print money. When you print more money, you drive inflation.
But there's no evidence of that.
Oh, it's the evidence is historic.
There is no evidence.
Oh,
of that,
it's
Art.
historic.
There's no evidence.
Oh, go ask Jimmy Carter.
Go, fine, we can do that. We
Yeah,
can ask Ronald Reagan. We can ask all of them. But there's no evidence that any spending recently is the reason why we have worldwide.
No, I'm not talking. I understand that, but when a voter goes to the poll, they want to know about their inflation again.
That's why I'm saying that. That's why I say I don't think we do a very good job at covering this. For instance,
I don't think it would matter.
One reason that maybe why we have some inflation is that monopolies are gaming the system, and they know they can raise prices on their products because they're the only game in town. And they're taking advantage of that big time. We don't talk about that. We won't talk about how meat producers are jacking up their prices because they know they can. We're not talking about that.
Then why haven't they done it all along?
They do something. I just think that there is some evidence nowhere. Now, don't get me wrong. I think supply issues had something to deal with it. But that's the other thing is that I remember during the holidays when there was this mass freak out that we weren't going to have our turkey dinners, that we weren't going to be able to get any presents for people, that store shelves were empty everywhere. But guess what? Christmas packages were delivered. Everybody had their Christmas meals. It was all just an artificial freak out. It didn't matter.
Well,
that is my point.
Here's my point. It may be artificial freak out, but when you go to the store and you see the prices, when you go to the pump and you pump your gas, there's nothing artificial about it. It's
and which
real.
Is why now here I'm gonna help everybody out here. Okay, so I love my DiGiorno frozen pizzas. I do. I have to admit that's one of my favorite things. I have them almost every other weekend
with an Iron City beer.
sometimes. But I noticed this though the other day. I went to my local grocery store. This was a couple weeks ago, and all the DiGiornos were gone. I was like, it was around New Year's Eve, and I thought, okay, that's why everybody's
sure, pizza time, right?
So I said, well, why not? Let's try this generic brand. I'll just try it. Brand tasted pretty much the same, and it cost me $3 less.
Well, I got news for you. You know what?
Try that one out. If you want to
try this out.
Price, go for the generic.
Try this out. Some of those generics are made by the same company that has the big name.
Well, yes, it is.
And all they do is change boxes. So I have to tell you a story.
So then go for the cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. I have to tell you a story. A well-known potato chip brand who had a facility in Bay City packaged potato chips. And many, many years ago, when we were doing 4 for the Morning on the radio, we went in and did a 4 for the morning bit at this potato chip plant. And after they were done packaging their potato chips in their bags, they changed bags. They didn't change potato chips, and started bagging for known grocers,
right?
For off brands. And I'm standing there watching all these different brands come off the shelf at different prices, and I'm going, well, now I understand.
Right. So you're saying my theory, and maybe just go for the generic.
No, absolutely.
Basically getting the same thing.
Why do you think Aldi's is so successful?
Right. Oh, that's a great point. That is a great point. That's right.
Absolutely.
One more thing. I know you got to
real
take a
quick.
break.
Yeah.
I'll just say this. When it comes to the oil prices and gas prices, no one's been able to explain to me how we can change world market prices by pumping more oil here, which doesn't stay here. It goes overseas and it goes into the world market.
Well, let me explain it to you then. We don't send it overseas. We keep
do.
it here. I know we do. I know that's the problem.
Everybody, it doesn't matter because we have multinational oil companies.
I understand that.
It all goes there. So nobody can explain to me.
But so does everybody else.
Nobody can explain that to me.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Art.
You bet. We'll be back with more.
It could be the best years of your life. In retirement, you'll finally get to do what you want to do. But you have to plan for it. Start by tuning into Mindy and Nolan McIntosh of McIntosh & Associates every Sunday at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Make retirement the best time of your life. Tune in Sundays at noon for Wealth Michigan with the McIntoshes. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Great Lakes Bay Health Centers would like to remind you that building a defense against COVID-19 will take all of us. That's why we're proud to offer not only COVID testing, but also free COVID vaccines at multiple locations. Visit GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org for comprehensive information on locations and times near you. The only way this pandemic will end is with us. So let's all do our part to stay healthy and get vaccinated. Please remember to continue following safety measures to keep yourself, your family, and our so we can finally end COVID-19.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Refinance to today's low mortgage rates, and you could save up to $1,000 of thousands in long-term savings. It just takes a 10-minute call to American Financing to get started. You'll get a custom loan with incredible savings. No pressure, no upfront fees. Pre-qualify for free at 800-777-8109 or visit AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
This is Matt Crowder live at the Shell station on 41st Street, reporting on the free gas app called Get Upside that's letting people all over the country earn cash back on every gallon of gas they buy. Excuse me, miss. Have you heard of the Get Upside gas app?
Of course. People are earning as much as $300 a year with the Get Upside app. It's so easy. Open the app to see nearby gas stations offering money back, pick the one you want, and get up to 25 cents a gallon cash back every time you buy gas.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Get Upside gas app and earn up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder, Radio News Network.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to earn up to 25 cents a gallon cash back when you buy gas. Use promo code TODAY for a 50 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 75 cents a gallon on your next fill up. You can cash out anytime to PayPal or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Get up to 75 cents a gallon cash back on your next fill up when you download the free Get Upside app and use promo code TODAY. Promo code TODAY.
Get huge savings with fuel rewards every time you fill up at one of your 26 area Forward Shell convenience stores. Get at least 5 cents off a gallon every single fill up and earn even more when you make purchases in store. You can regularly save 10, 20, even 30. Less money goes into your tank and more stays into your wallet. Visit fuelrewards.com to sign up and start saving today. That's Fuel Rewards at your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pub, go forward.
Hi, this is Mike Avery, and here's what's coming up this week on Outdoor Magazine. First, Bob Ransom of Primal Tree Stands. In hour number 2, Lieutenant Jason Wickland of the DNR on becoming a conservation officer. Nick Green of MUCC checks in. And in hour number 3, Captain Lance Keene of Steelhead Hunter Charters, but he's in Florida chasing giant. And Sunday mornings at 9 on 100.5 and 790 WSGW.
All right, back with you. We'll get back to our phones in a moment, but I got an email that the heading of the email is Pat is wrong, so I opened it right away, of course. And this is an article saying that the Eurozone inflation, Europe now, expected to be around 3% in 2022. Yesterday, ours came out, consumer price index, 7% inflation. So we are leading the world, apparently, in inflation. Colleen is in Bay City. Colleen, good morning.
Oh, good morning. I've been hearing in the news the last couple of days about the policemen giving more citations or arrests for African Americans.
Yes, matter of fact, I'm holding the story from the Detroit Free Press in my hand right now as you speak about it.
And I'm wondering if they're getting a bad rap because most of the time, do we even know till they get up to the window what color the person's skin is? And especially at nighttime, you don't know till you get up to the car.
Yeah, well, this was a study done by Michigan State University School of Criminal Justice, and they did a pretty deep dive on an analysis. The headline is Michigan State Police disproportionately stop black drivers. And they haven't denied it. I mean, the head of the state police yesterday said they're going to make improvements. They're going to look internally and they're going to figure out why.
That's good, but I still wonder if, because usually you don't know what color they are till you get up to the window and see, and especially at nighttime if they stop someone.
Yep,
you know,
that may be, but the study was done pretty extensively by Michigan State. So.
Yeah. Maybe there's more dark-skinned people doing the wrong thing than the white people. Maybe that's a factor too.
Could be, but you know,
I'm not prejudiced
this is universal, though. I mean, this is not just the Michigan State Police. This is pretty well known around the country.
Yeah. All righty then. Well,
all right, Colleen.
So
thanks. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
Tom is on the road. Tom, good morning to you.
Yes, hello.
Good morning.
I was just going to disagree with Pat here, too, on his take on inflation. Okay, you can go to the store and look at the DiGiorno pizza, and yes, it's more expensive, and then go and buy the off-brand. And you know, my wife, she'll do shopping, and a lot of times she'll go to Aldi's because the price is a little bit cheaper.
Yep.
And we can offset some of that stuff. But yet, when it comes to your electric bill, gas for your vehicle, when I go to the gas station, I can't get an off-brand at the gas station. I pay what's there. And there's no other opportunity. We can shop around for a little bit cheaper gas, but we're not getting
a penny or two.
Any way to be able to get an off-brand gasoline to make it cheaper
Right.
for us to drive.
Right.
We've created a problem by actually getting rid of supply. And until we get back to where there's more supply, that our prices are going to be inflated.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, about sending some of that fuel overseas, if you are producing more energy than you use in your country, you can afford to send fuel overseas. You can afford to sell off your overstock. And we were in that position for a while.
And yeah, we were in a great position. I mean, we had all the oil we needed to where we were able to sell that to other countries and help out. And we pretty much caused our own problems here by tightening. Now, yes, I think pollution is an issue. But when you look back when we were growing up, I mean, I'm 68. How many cars driving down the road just look like a mosquito fogger going down the road?
Oh, listen, times have we've improved.
We've regulated our emissions in cars,
stacks,
business.
Business stacks. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've actually reduce our emissions greatly compared to what we used to have.
Well, here's the thing about pollution and climate change and all of that. Particularly this administration seems to want to throw it on our backs. As a nation, we've probably done more to clean up our atmosphere than most of the countries in the world. When China comes on board and when India comes on board and all of those countries that now are the big polluters, then talk to us. But we've already done our part. How much more do they want us to do? Is the United States responsible for the world's climate? I don't think so. So, I think there has to be reason in all of this. And sometimes common sense goes out the window.
And are rushing to, the electric vehicles, it really worries me right now. You look at California where they're pretty much, you cannot, I think their building codes are now requiring where you have to have electric heat. You can't use natural gas or propane. They're already having problems with brownouts in the summer, electrical issues.
Yeah.
And so they're going enough to get by now. How are they going to do it with cars and heat?
Well,
I mean, there's not enough infrastructure yet.
I have always looked at California, see what they've done, and then hope wherever I am, they do just the opposite. It's just the way I am.
You're like me because I look at a lot of times when you buy something, pretty much every label you see, it says this item contains a chemical which has been known by the state of California to cause cancer.
Right.
And I thought, boy, are they the only smart ones out there that they've seen this?
They will tell you yes. All right, Tom. Hey, listen,
right, have a good day.
Appreciate the call, friend. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. And we'll be back with more after these notes.
As a Blue Cross Medicare member, managing your medications from home is simple. With our easy-to-use prescription drug plans, you can get the medicine your doctor prescribes from your local pharmacy or even delivered by mail. For the trusted care you need and want, Blue Cross will be here with more convenient ways of getting it. Like we've been for more than 80 years. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. To learn more, visit bcbsm.com/senior options.
Low mortgage rates, and you could save up to $1,000 a month, plus tens of thousands in long-term savings. It just takes a 10-minute call to American Financing to get started. You'll get a custom loan with incredible savings, no pressure, no upfront fees. Pre-qualify for free at 800-777-8109 or visit AmericanFinancing.net. NMLS 182334, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril around the back of the nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
I know we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Morning Team Show.
I just saw this online. Oh, this is great. This is coming out of Quebec. Apparently last Thursday, the Canadian province announced new rules on Thursday requiring vaccine passports for anyone wishing to buy alcohol and marijuana.
Oh.
Before Thursday, the average Daily number of first dose appointments were 1,500. Last Friday, 6,000.
All right.
And if you didn't see that coming.
Take note, Washington. There is a way.
Yes, it does work. Incentives work.
Oh, that's great.
Love it.
The more is 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Got a note from Dave at the station, wondering if the MSU criminal justice study of the state police stopping people of color at a higher rate, disproportionately, takes into account the fact that MSP has special patrols in some of the cities in the state, including Saginaw. Don't know. It's an interesting question. Let's see. We still have a few minutes left to get you on. If something on your mind you'd like to talk about, give us a call this morning.
Hey, Art, real quick. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
sir.
I would never do this, but since I was called out by one of the one of your listeners, I just want to just throw this out there because you got that email saying, what was it?
Yeah.
The Eurozone.
Eurozone was 3%.
3%. Okay, so these were the headlines, and I didn't think I was making these up. Germany has its highest rate since 1993, which is 3%. So yeah, that's true. See, with Germany, Mexico ends the year with inflation at 7.6%. Russia accelerates to 8.3%. Spain 6.7%. Canada 4.7%. So they're all higher. That's all I was saying, is that this is a worldwide issue. Now, the United States, what is it, 7%, right? So that's all my point was that this was worldwide. So I will stand by my numbers. Thank you.
And I will stand by the fact that our voters don't care. They vote for what comes out of their pocketbook.
I understand. We do have a caller.
I see that. Lee.
Okay.
Lee is in Saginaw. Lee, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good. Go ahead.
I watch a lot of history. I had a lot of history over the years, listening to stuff. And a lot of people forget about prior to the Second World War that Daimler province in Germany did the same thing with their marks, their German marks. They kept, because of their inflation over there, they kept increasing it. It got so bad they wouldn't even print it. They would stamp it. A 10 mark, they would, next week, they would put a red 20 mark stamp on it. And it got to be where it took a wheelbarrow of money to buy a loaf of bread.
Mm-hmm.
In the old saying is supply and demand. Well, if you flood the market with dollars, isn't that the same thing?
It cheapens the dollar, that's for sure, which it leads to inflation. I mean, it's historic. It is historic that when the printing presses crank up and they increase the money supply, inflation goes up. You can't deny it. It's history.
Right. Oh, yeah. I agree. I agree fully.
All right.
Yeah.
Hey, Lee. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you too, sir. Thanks. And our buddy Errol wants to end the hour for us. So, Errol, good morning.
Good morning. You know, there are a few loonies north of the border, but I had a few thoughts on Patrick's dissertation. This has been across the Mackinac Bridge, okay? That's the first thing. Secondly, California passed a law that you can't have more than one pig in a cage so they don't play kissy face. The same with chickens. Do you think that might be affecting the price?
Oh, eventually it will, certainly. Yeah, no doubt.
You know, but I had to answer Patrick because I know how far he's been. Yes, he thinks there's no UP. You know, that's why he doesn't cross the Mac Bridge.
No, wait. Now he's going to have to respond to that, and I'm running out of time.
No.
All right.
Hang up on him.
All right. He says, ha, 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 that's true. All right, Errol. That'll do it for calls. We're going to take our last break, and then we will be back to close out this edition of the Art Lewis Show.
I'm attorney Jerry Reif, and I have practiced law in mid-Michigan for over 3 decades. Many of you have attended my monthly workshops where you have learned about estate planning, asset protection planning, avoiding nursing home costs, and how to save the family farm. Would you like to understand more about these topics? I'm offering 3 free e-booklets about estate planning, farm succession planning, and Medicaid planning.
To get your free e-booklet, go to jerryrifelawyer.com to download any or all of the e-booklets or 90-1461 to request a copy.
My e-booklet, Understanding Medicaid, describes Medicaid, Medicare, and the difference between them. If estate planning is confusing to you, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning Basics, and you'll find that it is a helpful guide for your future planning. If you have a farming operation and want to save it for future generations, then get my e-booklet, Estate Planning for Farmers.
If you want any of these free e-booklets, go to jerryrifelawyer.com or call 989-790-1461 to request your free copy.
Sticks, Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Born in Chicago, raised on rock and roll, Tommy Shaw and Sticks. Tickets start at $44 and on sale now at the Soaring Eagle and Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. Sticks, playing all the hits. Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Get your rock on. Party and play with Sticks at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Sticks, Saturday, March 19th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Players Lounge at the Bay Valley Resort. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Their appetizers include fried zucchini, chicken wings, and please don't sleep on their bacon-wrapped shrimp. You can also get burgers, their smokehouse chicken sandwich, and fish and chips. No matter what mood you're in, they've got you covered. Do yourself a favor and head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your Plus.com.
Has this ever happened to you? My friend was telling me about his new pair of headphones, so I looked them up online. Now, everywhere I go is a creepy ad for those headphones I looked at one time. I hate that feeling like I'm being watched. I got DuckDuckGo and saw a difference right away. With one download, you can search and browse privately, avoiding trackers, all for free. It's that simple. Take back your privacy online with DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
All right, that'll do it for the Art Lewis Show for today. We thank you for joining us. Coming up on Focus, we're going to talk about the Bangor Township Virtual School. Be an interesting conversation. We'll do that right after the news, which is next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Showroom and Design Center Studios.
This is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by the Exogen Temporal Scanner.
I'm Steve Kathan. Resurgent COVID cases are jamming hospitals, and the new uptick could be hitting the job market, too. The government says claims for unemployment benefits rose last week. Bankrate.com's Mark Hamrick.
This may well be the first report suggesting that Omicron is leading to new job loss. Seasonally adjusted new jobless claims rose by 23,000 to 200. This week, the increase takes new claims back to the level last seen in November.
And as we hear from CBS's Jim Crisula, the pandemic seems to be taking a toll on higher education.
Enrollment in the nation's colleges and universities dropped by 465,000 students last fall, according to a new report. Some in higher education worry that declines during the pandemic could become a permanent trend. The National Student Clearinghouse Research Center says undergraduate enrollment in fall 2021 dropped 3% from a year earlier.
Well, CBS's Stephen Portnoy says the government is stepping up help for hospitals and home COVID testing.
The order doubles the number of at-home procuring from $500 million to $1 billion. Just a month ago, the White House spokeswoman mocked the idea of mailing tests to American households. Now the government is buying enough to send every American 3 tests. Aides say details on the website where orders can be placed will be made available tomorrow, with the first of the test kits flowing through the mail later this month.
In the Senate this morning, Democratic leader Chuck Schumer vowing to push ahead with voting rights legislation despite Republican opposition.
We will have the ability to proceed to the legislation and debate it on a simple majority basis, something that's been denied to us 4 times in the last several months because
House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy says he will not cooperate with the House panel investigating the attack on the Capitol. CBS's Nicole Killian.
McCarthy says that he believes that the Select Committee is not conducting a legitimate investigation. In a statement last night, he said the panel wants to interview me about public statements that have been shared with the world and private conversations not remotely related to the violence that unfolded at the Capitol. I have nothing else to add.
An independent investigation finds Utah police made several unintentional mistakes when they stopped Gabby Petito and her boyfriend last August. Days later, she was found dead. Church bells ringing out on Italy's island of Giglio on the 10th anniversary of the Costa Concordia shipwreck that killed 32 people. Wall Street, right now in the early going, the Dow is up 154 points. This is CBS News.
The leading sign of COVID is a fever, so everyone needs an accurate thermometer. Try the Exergen Temporal Scanner and learn more at Exergen.com. That's Exergen.com.
Beat the winter blues and get away from the cold. How far away is up to you. Let Capoco Community Credit Union help you get vacation loan. See a Capoco Community Credit Union loan officer today and ask how they can help. Whether it's to a tropical island or just any place with palm trees, a vacation is easy with Capoco Community Credit Union. Find out more at capoco.org. Member NCUA.
Have you been considering a virtual education for your child? Bangor Township Virtual Schools offers an alternative learning environment for your child. Since 2015, Bangor Township Virtual School has provided hundreds of students K through 12th grade in the Saginaw Bay area with a high quality and accredited public education. The School of Choice window is open January 7th. For more information or enrolling your child, go to bangorschools.org. Bangor Township Virtual Schools, the virtual education experts.
I miss my baby, someone stole my baby. By the way, my baby is my landscaping truck that was literally stolen from a job site. Baby, won't you please come home?
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but with 30-plus customizable coverage options, Progressive Commercial keeps your business humming along. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
I love my sweetheart. By the way, that's my riding lawnmower.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available for all vehicles or states.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Players Lounge at the Bay Valley Resort. You're going to get a $20 gift certificate for only $10. Their appetizers include fried zucchini, chicken wings, and please don't sleep on their bacon-wrapped shrimp. You can also get burgers, their smokehouse chicken sandwich, and fish and chips. No matter what mood you're in, they've got you covered. Do yourself a favor and head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 News. This is WSGW News.
It's 30 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Ian Williams. Governor Gretchen Whitmer's administration is disputing the methodology and conclusions in a pending report that's expected to say there were nearly 30% more coronavirus-related deaths tied to long-term care facilities in Michigan than reported by the state. Auditors plan to release their review next week, but the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services sought to publicly preempt it. In a letter written Sunday and released Wednesday, Director Elizabeth Hertel referenced serious concerns to the state auditor's office, including with its planned deaths at facilities that are subject to state or federal reporting requirements and those that aren't. A judge has heard arguments from lawyers for Michigan's former health director who wants involuntary manslaughter charges dismissed in the Flint water crisis. It's been a year since former Governor Rick Snyder and others were charged for their alleged roles in the switch of Flint's water source and subsequent lead contamination. There also was a fatal outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. The cases are moving slowly, bogged down by disputes over millions of documents and even whether a Flint court is the proper venue. Water from the Flint River was used in 2014 without being treated to reduce the corrosive effect on aging urban pipes. A 20-year-old Saginaw man was charged in court Monday for multiple criminal sexual conduct offenses. Police say the offenses spanned 4 years involving an 11-year-old girl. The suspect, Robert Jacklin IV, is related to the victim. He's been arraigned on charges of first and third-degree criminal sexual conduct and is being held on a $50,000 bond. He has a preliminary hearing on Tuesday. WSTW News Time is 11:07.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting obligations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back, time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialized in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free
800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Tax relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
WSTW News Time is 11:08. Police in Tuscola County arrested a man yesterday who crashed a stolen vehicle. Deputies were sent to Mertz and Clifford around 3 a.m. for a report of a person driving erratically. They found the vehicle crashed near the intersection of Mertz and Snover, where they saw a 63-year-old Lapeer man fleeing the scene on foot. The man headed for a wooded area and was tracked with the assistance of a canine unit. That he stole the vehicle in Lapeer County. He was arrested for vehicle theft, driving under the influence, resisting police, and driving with a suspended license. A car dealership building in flames last night. The building, once owned by Rayola Florist, was part of the Hank Graff Chevrolet dealership on State Road. Fire crews were able to limit the fire to just the one building, but the back of the structure collapsed in the flames. Smoke could be seen for miles, according to witnesses. No injuries were reported. The cause of that fire is under investigation. A Saginaw area veteran has finally received his high school diploma. Tom Jones was joined by his son and granddaughter while accepting his Arthur Hill diploma at this week's Saginaw School Board meeting. Jones says his time in school was cut short heading into the Vietnam War, but he encourages other vets who may not have thought it was possible to graduate to check a Michigan 61 for those drafted and enlisted and begin talks with the district.
If this as it means to me, they enacted a law in 1961. It's for World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam area vets. And if you didn't get a chance to graduate, if you was taken out of school early, if you got drafted, you can get your high school diploma.
Jones said he wanted to receive his diploma ahead of the completion of the upcoming Saginaw Comprehensive High School that's set to combine Saginaw High and Arthur Hill. Motown was founded in Detroit, and there's a new record label you'll be hearing a lot about. It officially opens its doors this week. Workshop, a new music brand founded by Detroit businessman Dan Gilbert and music industry veteran and Workshop CEO Shay Pope, explains why he chose the Motor City to set up his new music venture.
LA is an oversaturated place for entertainment and entertainment companies and startups. Whether this progressive and innovative company it is still a better, and obviously, you want to build your company with the best opportunity for success.
Pope said the organization is looking for new talent in the area. When you see news happening, call the WSGW Newsroom 752-0790. It's 11:10. I'm Ann Williams.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. We'll see a few spotty snow showers at times here for today with mostly cloudy skies and temperatures holding rather steady. Northwest winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly cloudy sky conditions with a low near 16. Friday, mostly cloudy, temperatures rise early, then slowly fall throughout the day. And then by Saturday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 18. Sunday, sunshine, high around 23. Then by Monday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 29. Tuesday, mostly cloudy, high 28 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 29.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSG. WSGW.com.
And welcome to our Thursday edition of Focus here on WSGW. I'm Art Lewis in my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, and our program brought to you by RoofMax, the safe and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle roof replacement. Find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com or call Ben at 989-859-6751. That's RoofMax with 2 X's. Today we're going to learn about something which I would have to say was ahead of its time, because this actually began before the pandemic, and it is called the Bangor Township Virtual School. We're going to learn about that this morning from its director, and we say good morning to Thomas Atkinson. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Thomas, you're welcome. Glad to have you with us. I am correct, am I not, that Bangor Township was kind of ahead of the curve with this virtual school before the pandemic?
Yes. Yes, in fact. So BTVS, Bangor Township Virtual School, was in place since 2015. And, it's kind of it took a little bit of foresight and forethought from our board and our administration, but just seeing that there's a need for virtual education, the fact that there are a lot of companies and private businesses that have kind of taken the reins on that, provided that. And so the district said, well, is there a way for us to do this in a way that is going to benefit the students of Bangor Township and the surrounding areas, and then also be able to keep it so it's a more localized take on virtual education.
I want to clarify, let me clarify something quickly here, just so everybody understands. Bangor Township Virtual School is not a standalone. It is part of the Bangor Township school system. Is that correct?
It definitely is. So we are seen as a school, that equals the other schools in Bangor Township, whether it be John Glenn High School or one of the elementary schools or Chris McAuliffe Middle School. We are our own entity within Bangor Township schools.
So let's talk about virtual education for a moment, because obviously, if you watch the news today, the hue and cry is get kids back in the classroom, get them back in school. Because we've all gone through this virtual sort of education process. What is the advantage of virtual education?
Well, so really it's a student by student type of way to approach education. I'm not going to sit here. So I was a classroom teacher for years before stepping into this role as the director last summer. And the registered teachers that we have that are Bangor Township teachers that we have here within our district who help our virtual students, they were in the classroom as well. So I'm to face-to-face education. I think face-to-face education for most kids is where they need to be. But there are certain students who have extenuating circumstances that a virtual education is something that is just may be better for them. So a lot of our students that we bring in have issues with maybe it be some kind of mental health, whether it be an anxiety disorder or, maybe a social anxiety. A lot of our students kind of fit, kind of fall into that mold. We have a lot of students that, just have different life circumstances right now, as we're still in the midst of who might be immunocompromised or have parents that are immunocompromised. And so for all of those, kind of unique scenarios that we have, and pretty much all of our kids are a unique scenario. We have 180 students in our building, and that's K through 12. Most of them are in the high school, but we do have some, all of them have, certain, for whatever reason, their parents or themselves or their families or their guardians have determined that they would prefer for them to not be face-to-face. And so, whether we would like to see them face-to-face or not, like to keep them home and would like to keep them safe, then we're able to provide them with that service.
All right, Tom, hang on a minute. I want to take a break. We're back. We're talking to Thomas Atkinson. He is the director of the Bangor Township Virtual School, and we'll have more on that when we return here on Focus.
Complete your plumbing project right now with help from Menards. Get a new water softener to make sure you have softer skin and cleaner clothes with Water Boss. A compact 40,000 grain Water Boss water softener will eliminate hard water. It saves you money by using less water and less salt too. Reduce chlorine, bad taste, and odor from your water softener. Save big money on one right now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful fusion of science and nature. Call Ben today at 859-6751.
Inex has been the only place to go for quality spray-on bed liner. But did you know they also offer rust-proofing and undercoating?
Their exclusive process will keep your new or used vehicle protected.
The guys at Linex have the only wax-based rust-proofing and military-spec undercoat to ensure years of protection.
In fact, all new vehicles protected will get a lifetime warranty. No yearly touch-ups required.
And because their rust-proofing process is wax-based, you won't have any long-term dripping or mess to clean up later. Rust-proof your car, truck, or protect it year-round.
Linex is located on Wilder Road in Bay City.
Give them a call at 989-671-9820 or call them at their Grand Blanc location, 810-695-9000.
Remember, your new car, truck, or SUV gets a lifetime warranty with no yearly touch-up required.
Again, the number in Bay City is 989-671-9820 or in Grand Blanc, 810-695-9000.
This whole wall needs to be shelving too. This is a focal point in our restaurant.
Leilani's new restaurant will have the largest wine cellar in the city. She needs a robust sommelier with notes of procurement manager.
3 sections for France. I mean, this is the biggest.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality. Indeed, match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Struggling with CPAP? Now there's Inspire, the only FDA-approved obstructive sleep apnea treatment that works inside the body to treat the root cause of sleep apnea with just the click of a button. No mask, no hose, just sleep. Visit InspireSleep.com to learn more.
Trying to find when and where you can hear the Tigers, Red Wings, Michigan football, and basketball, Saginaw Spirit hockey, and SVSU football on WSGW? Just click on the sports broadcast box on WSGW.com for complete game time listings. That's WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you here on Focus. We're talking to Thomas Atkinson, the director of the Bangor Township Virtual School. So, Thomas, let me ask you this. Let's take 2 students. We're going to give them equal academic ability. One of them is in the virtual setting. The other is in a classroom setting. In the end, when they both graduate, are they both going to have the same knowledge, the have the same ability to move on to college if they so desire? In other words, is that virtual education going to be equal to that classroom education?
So they should be. So our graduation requirements for our students here are the same Michigan Merit curriculum that whether it be John Glenn High School or Saginaw Heritage or any of the area high schools have to follow. So there's basically 18 credits that a student has to take via the state of Michigan, and they pass these 18 credits, 36 classes. Then they have the knowledge that they believe is, requisite for the, to fulfill what they need to have a diploma in the state of Michigan. Now we do have different graduation requirements than, let's say, John Glenn High School. John Glenn High School, they have to have 25 and a half credits, where our students only have to have 18. But they have to have 4 years of math, they have to have 4 years of English, they have to have 3 years of social studies, 3 years of science. And so those main components are the same. Now, some of our students have left and, have gone to, universities like University, Alata, Saginaw Valley State University, and they've found that they're able to make that same transition. Also, one of the benefits that we have with us is that our program, we do have the same ability for students to dual enroll and actually maybe a little bit more leeway for their schedules, just because they're not in school for a set amount of time. And so a lot of our college track students do dual enrollment through Delta College. And we also have students who do the Career Center at the BAISD building, where they can learn about technical knowledge.
Let's talk about the other side of education, and that's the socialization part of it, because obviously if you're in a classroom with other students, you participate in extracurricular activities, you do all of those things, you're socializing and meeting other people. Is that a hole in the virtual education, or is there a way to fix that?
I would say that there is a bit of I would say yes, I would agree that that's kind of a place where there is a bit of a schism with the traditional. Reality is that of a lot of our students, though, it isn't a major concern of theirs. Like I said, we have a lot of students who come to us because of, for whatever reason, the anxiety that's brought on by them attending a traditional school. Most of our students have attended traditional schools before, and for whatever reason, they didn't work for them. And so the socialization aspect is not something that they really might value as much as others. For the younger kids, it's big. And so we're fortunate that we have a couple different partnerships with area businesses that allow for these younger kids to kind of get together and take the class that they take at the Grand K Ranch over off Hotchkiss Road, where they go in and they learn about horsemanship, and they have an online class that's about horsemanship, but then they go and they meet with other classmates and kids their own age and, put some of those things to practice at an actual horse stable. So, in terms of the kids in the high school, I've had to talk to a lot of students. So I'm a coach in the district here. And so there are some students who are interested in coming, and you have, there are no, we don't have a drama program. We don't have sports. We don't have a lot of these things that students are used to getting through a tradition, experience. Mm-hmm. And those are things that we have to go through, and we have, and we're very upfront with them, and we, tell them what they're getting into. And then it comes down to them and their parents to determine whether we are whether we're the right answer for them or not. And, frankly, we want to provide them with the opportunity to make that choice, but, and we're going to be honest with them because there are benefits of this program, but there's also some downfalls, especially if you are looking for that more traditional educational experience.
And I have to believe that in order for this youngster to be successful, there has to be buy-in from the parents.
Oh, there has to be buy-in, and it has to be a very self-motivated student. So what they have to do is, there is approximately for each of their classes around 100, or not 100, around 1 hour of work that comes in a day. And so our classes it's not like they have to be in English class at 10:30. It's all the work is there. It's canned. It's pre-ready for them. But it's, on the student to look at,
Right.
I need to do this much work today to stay on task. If I don't do my work today, then there's
twice as much tomorrow.
And then so that's the battle that a lot of these kids have, and it really has to be a self-motivated student, which we're fortunate that we have a lot of them that are. But for the ones that aren't, we definitely have to work with the parents to create a plan to make sure that their child's going to be successful, or we need to look at maybe going back to a different education is better for them.
So in conclusion, how do people find out more about the virtual school in Bangor Township?
Okay, so to find out more about our program at BTVS, you can, right now we are in the middle of our school of choice window, schools.org, and go into enrollment and fill out either the BTVS questionnaire or the school of choice form, and you can hear about us that way, or you can find us on social media at Bangor Township Virtual School, or you can call into us at 989-684-8121.
Right.
And then my extension's 1212, and we could talk about it then. So I appreciate you for having me on.
Thomas, been a pleasure. Thanks for doing it. We'll talk to you again.
All right. Sounds good.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Thomas Atkinson with the Bangor Township Virtual School. We'll close out after this.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your